Yo, the Toronto man's word of the week is famish. And this comes before the millennial and Gen Zers still, so you just have to get with it. So let me show you how it's applied. Yo, B, give me a junior chicken and a small Sprite because mans out here are famish fam. What's up, fam? It's your boy Demuir here, Purveyor of all sounds underground. Thank you for joining me on my YouTube channel today, where I'll be discussing the reasons why I've removed my catalog for my record label Purveyor Underground from Spotify. But before we jump into that discussion, what I need from you is that SLC. Hit subscribe, like, comment, and more importantly, hit the notifications bell to stay in touch with the new videos that we have up and coming. All right, so let's jump into things. But before I get into each point, I do want to share that this is just my opinion. It's not a manifesto, so to speak, to say this is how people in the underground electronic music industry should operate. I'm just telling you what I believe works well for me. And it's subject to change. It's subject to, different tactics being deployed as more information becomes available. But I've been on the Spotify game for a while now, and I've watched this, and through data and some analysis and further research, I've concluded, at least for me and Purveyor Underground, it just makes the most sense to remove my catalog from the platform. All right, so point number one. This mainly involves the financials when it comes to reviewing Spotify. My label, Purveyor Underground, has been with Spotify pretty much for the last, I want to say, 2 years. And we've just been watching the financials slowly just decline as a result. We're putting out a lot more music, but the financials keep heading downwards. The other piece is just the fact that it's kind of an extension of the financials, but it infringes on our values as a record label, where we want to put the artists in the music first. And part of that is to just be fair in how we treat people financially when we have the opportunity to put their music out. And you can look at Spotify's financial results. I think the TTM, which is the trailing 12 months, as reported in Forbes of October last year, showed it at $292 million in losses. So knowing that that's happening in addition to the fantastically low rate they pay per stream, it's just obvious to me that we had to pull out of that relationship. And point number two, I just don't think Spotify is a fit if you're in the underground electronic music industry. I mean, you can be, quote unquote, an underground electronic music record label, but if you're putting out some records that are intended to cross over and be pop, Spotify makes absolute sense, because you're looking for that broader audience, and you're looking for, I guess, some of the cachet that's attached to that. Purveyor Underground simply isn't into that. We're a label that puts out great club music. I know some people listen to our music casually, and it's not to say that we're totally out of dealing with retailers that stream. We're just not going to be dealing with Spotify because we think they cater much better towards a more of a pop centric focused label, as well as with trap and hip hop, so to speak. Those areas have grown into substantially larger markets, whereas the underground electronic music industry, I think we have much more flexibility because we're not looking to scale at that level. We're just happy to have the audiences that we have and just continue to feed into that niche and to put our content on a platform that plays other games and pays at a fantastically low rate. It just doesn't make any business sense for us. Point number three, this is an easy one. You can check this out on YouTube, but it's the fact that Spotify, and I would say streaming technology in general, has sort of ignited this whole other market of streaming farms where you can go in and say, hey, these are the amount of streams I want, these are the amount of followers I want, and somebody with a few rooms in their house or in an industrial area with a bunch of phones connected, go out and make that happen for you. And I just think that is so warped when, as an artist on Spotify, from an underground electronic music perspective, when you receive these wrapped results that basically are trying to cater to egos in lieu of being able to be paid properly, where it says, oh, you've had over 1 million streams, which financially don't really equate to much. And when you look at how the streams came about from these streaming farms, I'm not sure, at least for Purveyor Underground, we definitely do not want to be attached to that kind of play. Now, arguably, someone would say, well, if you're going to go over to Apple Music or Amazon or any other streaming platform, aren't you in sort of the same predicament? And my answer would be yes, somewhat. The difference is that Apple Music pays a substantially better rate than Spotify. And the other thing is, I think how they're equating streams and quantifying those measures are just much more succinct than what Spotify is doing for the masses. At least in my opinion, and from the research I've seen, I would feel much better ethically dealing with an Apple Music than a Spotify, at least for my record label, Purveyor Underground. And it's to, I should further elaborate here. I know streaming technology isn't going away. And when I do sign songs to different labels, it's to their prerogative, if they still want to deal with Spotify and have my music on there, go at it. But I am taking these things into greater consideration, specifically for me as an artist, just to stay in step with the values of my label, Purveyor Underground. And point number 4, and I think it just spins off the whole streaming farm piece, which is I just don't see any real quantitative benefit as an underground electronic music artist, whether new or established for that matter, to just be quite frank with you. I have not been able to step through someone saying, because you have X amount of followers, and I'm going to throw a high number because to me it's high and I never hit it, but let's say you have over 100,000 followers or 1 million followers. I have not seen anybody say, because you have this amount of followers along with this amount of farmed streams as well, this totals in X amount of expected revenue, not only from the songs that you put up there, but from the gigs and other business opportunities that may fall out from it. It's actually been quite interesting because I've seen a lot of my peers who have, well, not a lot, but some of them who have well over 1 million followers. And they're asking me for music. They're coming to me for the new hot shit. And I'm sure they're doing that with a lot of other artists, but it's got to give you some perspective. Like, here you are sitting with a bunch of streamed and paid for plays and followers, but yet you're going to the guy with only 20,000, 30,000 followers to basically say, hey, I need that real stuff to play out. And on top of that, as a person with that amount of followers and lower streams, because I honestly don't care. What I care most about is the output and the content of the music and how it makes people feel. But to be that person that doesn't necessarily have those millions of followers and paying for all of this other artificial shit, and to still be able to play the same bills as these people, to have, similar opportunities says a lot. It's really about the music. It's not, this whole thing, well, you got to be on Spotify to get A, B, and C. No, that's not the case. I'm here to tell you, in my experience, I haven't seen that. I've seen a lot of great artists do very well without having to fall into that whole artificial game. And this leads me to my 5th and final point, which is music discovery. there's no doubt. I think a lot of people will be like, geez, that's a risky move. How are people going to discover your label and your music from Purveyor Underground? And as a result of it not being on Spotify, aren't you worried that just people won't know who the heck your brand is and what you are and what you're all about? And my answer to that is no. We do have other streaming platforms available that actually pay quite well and develop into a lot of other good opportunities. Spotify isn't just it. And all I'm saying is for the underground electronic music market, and knowing what I've just shared with you with respects to Spotify's financials and just the lackluster effort to cut down on streaming farms, which I think will never go away now, because it's just a whole other market in business that has been erected and will be hard to chomp down on. But I don't want to digress too far from my point here. The bottom line is you got to do what's right for your business. And when it comes to music discovery, there's tons of other platforms that will enable this just as effective. I want to use an example of SoundCloud. When I return to music, we're talking like 2010, 2011 timeframe, there are a lot of people telling me, okay, this is how the model runs now. It's no longer about vinyl. And all you got to do is sell 2,000 records to make about 10 grand US a month, which I enjoyed. And those were the good old days in the 90s, but I accepted, hey, that's gone. We're now in 2010. What's the deal? And the deal was you got to get on this thing called SoundCloud, pay for followers, pay for plays, and then there's the perception that you are it. You are a big star. You are the person that people are looking for in terms of hitting that real stuff, and that promoters will look to say, this guy's the real deal. We have to book him. And it's probably true for some of the cases, but I'm here to tell you, I didn't play that game. And I essentially started from scratch in 2010. I didn't buy any SoundCloud followers. I only have and I don't want to sound ungrateful, but I have only 5,200 compared to some people with 15,000, over 100,000 followers. And it's like, for what? I'm still here. I'm doing my music full time. I'm enjoying it. I'm touching a lot of people with my music as an artist. And Purveyor Underground has even less. I mean, the label started in like 2018, early 2018, and we only have, I want to say, just over 800 followers, if I'm not mistaken. And I don't look at these numbers at all. But my point is that as an artist, I didn't play into that game, and I've done very well and continue to do very well by building my own platform. And that's really where your music is going to get discovered. As long as you're putting out really great quality content and building up your platforms respectfully, people will buy into that. I'm not trying to have 1 million followers on SoundCloud to say I'm the shit, because really, at the end of the day, there's people who are doing that, but I'm still there because of my artistry and the quality of the music, which is really where you should be focusing your attention rather than how quickly can I be put on. And the artists we signed to Purveyor Underground are a reflection of that ethos, or we hope they are a reflection of that ethos, so to speak. So when it comes to music discovery, models and technology will come and go and move around, and I think the only thing that is required from you is to make sure you are consistently making great music and have the ability to respond. I think with blockchain and NFTs fresh on our heels, things are going to change phenomenally. I'm not too sure how SoundCloud is going to persevere in the next coming years when we have, Audius, which is a new sort of blockchain model that allows people to share their music without a lot of the copyright headaches and stuff. And look it up on YouTube. I invite you to do so. But change is coming. And I'm here to just say the only common denominator that always breaks you through, whether you're a new or established artist, is great music when it comes to music discovery. I've had being picked up on playlists. I never begged people to put me on. I never kissed ass or bought drinks for people or hired massive PR agencies to put my music on. They put it on there because it's great fucking music and it works for them. So I don't think that shit's gonna change. And I've had the experience of the whole, SoundCloud model, signed to great labels, and you'll always do well. Like, that's kind of out the door. The only thing that's been constant is great music. And point number 6 is, with respects to the people, the fans. They just have so many options, and I think we actually have to be careful about this. We got Bandcamp, SoundCloud, Audius. We got things happening on a Discord platform now, and just a slew of options for people to find great music out there. But that's an advantage in my view. As long as people have options and they're willing to look around and grab the music that they identify with and feel passionate about and are happy to support on a consistent basis, they will find you. They will go out and get your stuff. So I think people are a great advantage to this, and me pulling down the Purveyor Underground catalog from Spotify is just not a big deal in that sense. I don't think Spotify is going to have hard feelings and cry about Purveyor Underground being off the platform, and neither will we at Purveyor Underground. We'll keep our integrity intact, and we'll continue putting out really great music by the artists that we love and support them in the best manner and transparent manner as much as possible. And there you have it. Those are my key reasons as to why I've removed Purveyor Underground's catalog from Spotify. Let me know your thoughts on this one. I usually join the discussion in the comments within 48 hours of posting these videos, and the conversation just doesn't have to stop here. I have a growing Discord community channel, which we will be announcing some other cool things that we've added to that channel, where people have engaged in the discussion and shared tips and helping one another out. I just love the community. We have over 70% of you that have identified as DJs and producers, and it's really nice to see people just coming together and sharing their thoughts and tips on production as well as DJing. So I encourage you to check it out. The link is in the description below. Much love and respect to you. Peace.